Are you going too? Mehrad blushed deeply and lowered his head. We are really sorry that you won't be at our school next year. He took one last look at the smoke-filled building and silently said goodbye to it in his mind before heading straight to the boarding house he had seen earlier. He was always sad and depressed. His appearance was ordinary, yellowish complexion, tall and thin, with large, expressionless eyes. He had grown up timid, fearful, and melancholy. He had never spoken to a woman outside his family, and his parents had filled his mind with the advice of centuries-old traditions. To prevent him from going astray, they had arranged for his cousin, Dork Shande, to be his fiancé, and had already celebrated the engagement. One day, as he passed by a large store, he stopped and looked in. His gaze fell on a mannequin of a woman with blonde hair, tilting her head and smiling. She had long eyelashes, large eyes, a pale neck, and one hand resting on her waist. Her pistachio-colored dress, under the blue spotlight, made the mannequin look strangely beautiful. The mannequin never spoke, never asked for anything, and never needed him to pretend or lie about love. She was always silent, always perfect, and always just as he imagined. She didn't need food, clothes, or attention. She never complained or got sick. She was always content, always smiling. Most importantly, she never spoke, never expressed an opinion, and never feared that their personalities wouldn't match. Her face never wrinkled, her form was perfect, and she was always cold, unchanging. But where would he put this mannequin? "Sir, what can I do for you?" the shopkeeper asked. "Yes, I'd like the mannequin just as it is, with the dress. Since I'm a foreigner and I have a tailoring shop, I'd like it just as it is." The shopkeeper explained, "We were planning to bring in mannequins of a new design, but since this is a special case, we are selling this one to you. But keep in mind, we don't normally sell the items in our shop to customers." 5 years later, Mehrad arrived in Tehran with 3 suitcases, one of which was very large and resembled a coffin. What shocked his family was that Mehrad treated his fiancée, Dorkshande, very formally and didn't even bring her any souvenirs. His mother called him and scolded him, especially reminding him that Dorkhende had stayed at home waiting for him for 6 years, rejecting several suitors. Now he had no choice but to marry her. At night, when Mehrad returned home, he would close the doors, put on a gramophone record, drink alcohol, and pull back the curtain to reveal the mannequin. Then, for hours, he would sit in front of it, mesmerized by its beauty. Sometimes, when the alcohol took effect, he would get up and gently touch the mannequin's hair and chest. What puzzled the family was that Murad had placed the mannequin in his personal room, with a carpet hanging in front of it. His entire love life had been reduced to this, and the mannequin had become a symbol of love, lust, and desire for him. After a while, Dorkshande was curious, realized there was something strange about the mannequin. Dorkshande, trying to win Murad's love, began to mimic the mannequin. When Murad was out, she would sneak into his room and practice the mannequin's pose in front of the mirror. She would tilt her head, smile, and mimic the mannequin's gaze, looking as if she were lost in space, trying to copy the spirit of the mannequin. When Mehrad came home, Dorkhende would show him these poses in various clever ways. Gradually, Mehrad began to notice. A battle began to brew in his heart. For 5 years he had been fooled by the mannequin, but now Dorkhende, who had patiently shaped herself to his desires, was offering him a choice. Which one could he choose? Mehrad bought a small revolver, but every time he thought about acting on his feelings, doubt held him back. One night, after returning home drunk and dazed, Mehrad stared at the mannequin for a long time. Suddenly, as if struck by a burning iron, he pulled his hand back, but then saw the mannequin, its graceful step, hand on its waist, and smile. It was moving towards him. Without thinking, he pulled the revolver from his pants pocket and fired at the mannequin. Suddenly, he heard a scream, and the mannequin fell to the ground. Murad, panicked, rushed to lift its head. But it wasn't the mannequin. It was Dorkshande, lying in a pool of blood.